The situation of actually the way the criminal justice system is working at the moment in the southern districts of Bastar region, that is Dantewada, Kanker and Bastar, is actually very serious. And that is basically because in those areas what has happened is that there are a large number of Adivasis languishing in the jail there. And in the security operations, in the search operations, search and cordon operations, etc., normally what we are getting to know from the villagers, that what is happening is that the security forces are going out into the villages and basically picking up whoever they get. And these people are then produced before the court. And because of this, because of the pressure of the executive on the judiciary and a very security-centric kind of approach, the judiciary is actually not being able to play an independent role in assessing whether the gravity of those offences. Simply ordinary villagers are being brought before them, and it is being claimed that they are involved in Naxal attacks or Naxal related incidents, and these offences are being put on these persons. And once that happens, then these people go into jail. They go into jail, and then because the offences are claimed to be very serious, so often they are not brought to the courts regularly, because it's claimed that there is no guard to bring them and they are dangerous people, so they can't be brought. In the court, there are no interpreters to speak in the local Adivasi languages, and ultimately, therefore, what happens is the trial gets delayed for long periods. People are in jail for 3 years, 2.5 years, 2 years, some of them even 5 to 6 years, and actually there is very little progress in the trial. Apparently the offence looks very serious, because whenever there is a Naxal incident, let us say there is a landmine explosion or there is an attack on a police station, then basically unknown people are named in the FIR, and that means that anybody who is picked in is simply put into those offences as being there have been repeated complaints by villagers saying that innocent people were picked up, ordinary villagers were picked up, old people, very young persons, women have been picked up, and actually the whole process of proving their innocence, it's the opposite, because it is no longer a situation where you're innocent unless proved guilty. It is basically they have the difficult task of proving their innocence in such a situation, and that is really proving very hard. First of all, because the moment an offence is claimed to be a Naxal offence, there's a hardening on the part of the magistrate. For example, in Bastar Dantewada, ordinarily bail is never granted. In fact, now lawyers have given up moving bail applications altogether. They don't move bail applications. They just wait for an acquittal, which inevitably takes place because actually there's no evidence against the person. But that whole process of trial is itself a punishment. And the other thing is that, for example, when we started looking into these cases, and these cases began coming to our notice, and we started going and interviewing people in jail. For example, I'll give you an example. There's somebody called Madkam Anda. He's been in jail for 5 to 6 years now. He's very ill. His liver, kidney, they're all in serious conditions of damage. He's been in and out of the jail hospital and even into Visakhapatnam hospital and all that. There is an offence on him. Trial, all the witnesses are more or less complete, but there is one person from Naga battalion who's either the complainant or one of the important witnesses, who's obviously gone back to Nagaland and probably will never come for years together. This man is not getting bail, and there is no family support. Many of these people who have been picked up, maybe the villages are no longer there, people have fled away to other areas, there is no family support. They're economically in such a situation that they cannot afford good lawyers, and the legal aid lawyers also, even people who are, because in the Indian legal system, they cannot not be with a lawyer, not have, can't be that they don't have a lawyer, they will have a lawyer. So a lawyer is allocated, let us say, from the legal aid. But that lawyer is not going to the jail to meet the person. He's not meeting the family. So how does he prepare a defense? And why are they not going to the jail? Because in Chhattisgarh, if you go to meet a person who's under a Naxal offense, even a lawyer goes to it, their photographs will be taken, their names will be listed in a separate register. All this creates a very intimidating situation for lawyers who are working there. And it's very difficult for a lawyer to go out of his way to try to defend that particular that particular client. So actually there is this situation where the trial is being prolonged, where your chances of defense are very few, where the magistrate is also not sympathetic to you, or at least not giving you a fair opportunity, because the word of the security forces or the word of the police is final. These are the situations in which now lawyers have to work in these areas. We have to document very patiently and try to show that this is happening, because most of the time bail doesn't reach right up to the Supreme Court. These persons are not persons capable of going all the way to the Supreme Court. A case recently which I saw being rejected in the High Court was a case of somebody called Kawasi Kumal. He's 62 years of age. He has been in jail for 2 years. He was picked up when he was 60 years, and his family says that he was picked up from his village. He was plucking chilies, and he was just picked up by the security forces and taken away. The background of that incident is that there was an encounter of somebody called Budhram. There was a hue and cry about it, that it was a fake encounter. It is in that case of the encounter of Budhram that Kawasi Kumal has been implicated. If you look at the FIR itself, it's a ridiculous FIR. It basically says that the usual story about how the security forces managed to corner Naxalites, and there was a very fierce exchange of fire, etc., so on and so forth. Then it says in the FIR, after a long time when we reached the spot, we found this person who was hiding and running away. So after a long time, he was hiding and running away from the spot. And this person is picked up, who is a 60-year-old. What is being seized from him is bow and arrow. And on this basis, he is today in jail. Interestingly, the post-mortem of the body of Budhram, which is given by the doctor says the death is at least 48 to 72 hours prior to the time when the examination was conducted, which means it was conducted exactly the same day that the incident is claimed to have taken place. So obviously here is a dead body which is 48 to 72 hours. The death has occurred before that, and this old man is being implicated in this case. One of the serious things which is happening in these cases is that it's very easy to abuse this process for political reasons. They abuse the judicial process because, for instance, one of the cases, it is now becoming a well-known case in this area, is there's a case filed by somebody called Avdesh Gautam. In this case, it is remarkable. Some 60, 70 odd people have been claimed in his complaint. He has claimed that these people attacked his house. There was an Naxal attack on his house, of course. Some persons died, so it was a serious matter. But the persons whom he has alleged in his complaint to have carried out this are basically all political opponents. And they include CPI, active CPI leaders, active Congress leaders, local bodies, representatives of local bodies, the Zilla Panchayat, the Janpad Panchayat, some chairperson, some member. So, and all these people are just languishing in jail basically for lot of witnesses have taken place. No single witness is deposed against these persons. But the complainant himself, for the last 2 years, even on being summoned some 16 or 17 times, is not appearing in the court to give evidence. So here is clearly a case like this. Another case is of a handicapped person, Lakhan Lal Sodhi. He has to move around in a wheelchair. He has been accused in an Naxal attack, and the fact that he is a handicapped person, all those records are with the government. The government, the wheelchair was in fact given to him by some government agency, and he has got all the proof, but he's not getting bail. So this is a very serious situation, and possibility of abuse, and particularly now when you have a law on the statute books like the Chhattisgarh Special Public Security Act, where even the offences are so vaguely defined. The notion of aiding or assisting a banned organization is so vaguely defined. And if you see, indeed, many of the Adivasis who are under this act, basically the allegation is of providing food to Naxalites, of attending meeting of Naxalites, of showing the way to the Naxalites. Now this is something which is something, it just requires somebody's statement to put you in jail. So the possibilities of abuse, and particularly against, it has been being systematically used against definitely the CPI and the Adivasi Mahasabha, but also against Congress opponents, even against some BJP leaders. So and recently, in fact, some BJP leaders were protesting that their organizers and their karyakartas had been arrested. So this is another very serious aspect which has to be looked into. So how do we get these people justice? It's a very serious matter, and basically some people have to be courageous enough to say that, okay, even if the offences look very serious, we must force the court to look into the truth as to whether these persons were concerned at all, and we must move all the way up to the Supreme Court, because the High Court has also not been able to give us much relief, and probably once a number of such cases start coming to light, we might be able to ask maybe a group of experts to look at it, or some judges to look at it, to say to see this pattern, and to find some way to that the criminal justice system can begin working, and we really are able to give justice to these people.